So let's take a look at the list of players Cincinnati Bengals met with during the NFL Combine. And to be honest, this list is crazy. Now, the reason why is because some of these players are going to be absolutely nothing in the NFL. For example, Cameron Peoples is a running back from State here who actually is projected 7th round or undrafted in the actual draft. If we pull up the mock draft right here, currently, I think he's not the last prospect, but he is pretty dang close to the last prospect. Yeah, so he's right here. He's 279th, so he's definitely not a guy who's going in the first 6 rounds, so he could possibly be a player the Bengals look at in free agency after the draft. Maybe they use a 7th round pick on him, maybe they do something, but he is an interesting running back, so let's just take a look at him. Cameron Peoples has an 85.4 rushing grade, a 79.5 zone grade, a 83.5 gap grade. Elusive rating is 131.7, 4.46 yards after contact, that's attempt. His 2022 stats, he was pretty decent. I'd say pretty decent. He wasn't anything too crazy special. I mean, over the years, you can see 592 yards last season, 925 years before that, 1124 year before that. So every year, he's slowly going down and getting worse. Isn't much analyzing him because you can see right here, the guy dropped off. I mean, the guy was, kind of 5th, 6th round pick and then completely dropped off. And it is what it is. He's going to be an undrafted guy or a 7th round pick. And this is only a 7th round pick if a team really wants him that badly. Now, other players are actually higher rounds. So, Gibbs, for example, is a 1st round pick. He is the running back who is currently sitting behind our man, Bijan Robinson. So, Gibbs is projected to go mid-2nd round, so around the 41st pick. And he is an absolute monster. I've talked about him many times before, but 976 yards, 746, 467 yards. He's a very good receiving back, plus a good between the tackles back. Rushing rating was 83.3, zone 85.5, 68.6 in the gap, and then 99.1 elusive rating. So, he's a pretty solid running back. Obviously, as it says right here, where he wins is suddenness. What his role is featured receiving back, so he is more or less what, Janavi Bernard would be for the Cincinnati Bengals, and what he can prove on his size. He needs to add some more weight to him to be a lot more scary when it comes to his muscle ability. He did play for Alabama, and if I am correct, didn't Bijan Robinson also play for Alabama? So Bijan was the more of the between the tackles guy, while this guy was more, overall wise, just the receiving back, which is actually kind of interestingly funny. I'm not sure where Bijan went in this draft. I know Bijan has been really shooting up draft boards at this point in time. He went to the Lions with the 18th pick. And no, Bijan went to the Texans Longhorns. So you can see right here, Bijan Robinson, guys, there's a reason why this guy is going to be a 1st round running back. He hits every category you could ever want in him. First in missed tackles, 104. Yeah. There were some Bengals fans I saw in my comment section to say if he's still available, 28th overall pick, they would love to have the guy, and I can see why. He is a monster overall-wise. But next guy on the thing they met with was Tavian Thomas. Tavian Thomas is going to be I believe, a kind of 7th round pick, kind of solidified 7th round pick. Yep, from Utah right here. He's another running back. He's a pretty solid running back. Nothing too crazy special. Played the last 2 seasons. I believe he might be a junior. Yeah, he's a junior this year, so he has not played a junior year yet. Again, like I said, he would be a 7th round pick, undrafted, if the Bengals do consider him. Zach, my man with the last name here, he's actually going to be the first player we look at here, and he is from UCLA, and he is a solid 2nd round, 3rd round pick. So if Cincinnati wants him here, they could take him in the 2nd round. He would not go past the 2nd round, but he could be taken with their 2nd round pick. And he was actually a really big monster. 51st in missed tackles. Yards per reception route was 36th. Carries of 15 plus yards was 9th. Zone attempts, so on and so on. I mean, 93.6 rushing grade, 86.2 zone grade. He's amazing receiving back, which is something Cincinnati could use. And a guy who's really good between the tackles. I mean, 1,100 yards back-to-back seasons. 92.5 gap grade, and elusive is 122.3. Where he wins is his creativity. What's his role? A bell cow back. So actually not receiving back at all. Completely incorrect on that one. He's a guy. He's kind of like Derrick Henry then. So I don't know. I thought he was more receiving back because he has good zone grade. But anyway, though, he's more of a bell cow back, and what he can improve on is his route running. So needs to work on his receiving ability. He's a bell cow back. He's a Derrick Henry. This could be a really solid second round pick for the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's say in this mock draft here, I had to simulate the pick, but I think simulating it took a defensive lineman. But they could take Antoine Harrison, right, and then go with someone like, for example, Zach, who could be that bell cow back in that replacement for Joe Mixon. Not at all against that idea. All right, next guy is a wide receiver, Antoine Green. I believe he is a little bit down the board here. I don't think he is an early pick at all, and he is not. Where is Antoine Green? He is an undrafted, most likely 99% chance he's undrafted. This is not going to be a guy who probably gets drafted in the NFL. And he's 6'2", 200 pounds, so he's a smaller guy. 75.1 receiving grade, okay, so nothing too crazy special. It is what it is. This is a guy that would be a depth piece if he does get signed by Cincinnati, but nothing crazy special there. Parker Washington from Penn State. My guess is he's probably going to be in a similar... No. I think I've seen Parker Washington. Yep, I've seen him right here. So he is most likely a fifth or sixth round pick. Maybe seventh round. He might drop a little bit. So he's a 76.7 receiving grade. Yards per route run is 2.18. Drop rate 6.1. Grade versus man coverage is 73.8. So he's not too bad. Does it have like his so 611 yards, 800. Let me put it down. This is his yards: 611, 820, and 489. Here's his whole entire thing. Where he wins is yards after catch. What is his role? A complimentary number 2 and number 3 receiver. And what he can improve on is route breaks. This is what Cincinnati needs. I like this guy. This is what they need. They need a number 2. They need a mid-range number 2, high-end number 3 receiver. The guy that pretty much could replace Tyler Boyd. That's what they would need 1,000%. If this guy can fill that role for them and take over, that would not be a bad situation at all. I would actually really like to see that. All right, next down the list here is Dalton. He's a mid-round to late-round, first-round pick. He's going anywhere from pick 18 to pick 30. He is a player who could be on the board if, Michael Maris does get taken really kind of later. He could be a guy who does stay on the board. He is currently, though, ranked in this mock draft as the 24th overall pick. He could be even later than that. So he has a 91.8 receiving grade, which is actually really freaking amazing. He has a 90.2 overall grade for 2022 season. 890 yards, 8 touchdowns, 5'11", and 8 touchdowns for his last 2 seasons. Obviously, he is going to be a senior, so he did play all 4 years. What he wins is his natural receiving ability. What's his role? A move tight end. I know that move tight ends were over to a fad that has been phased out in recent years, but Kincaid has enough ability to make impact if he is qualified as a receiver alone. That should be a bar for the move tight end destination. Where he can improve is muscle mass. So just continue to get more muscles added to him. become a bigger tight end. And you can see right here his whole entire mock thing went up as of recently. This happens a lot when it comes to the combine. Players are able to really start, going up draft boards and make a name for themselves. Now, the guy I love, you guys have been following the channel, I've been talking about this man for like 3 or 4 months now, and this is a player who is a late first-round pick, and he is an absolute monster, and I'm going to say monster 1,000 bazillion zillion times. He is a late first-round pick, early second-round pick, depending on what a team wants, if they're going to just go after him or not. He is the fourth tight end off the board here. I'm trying to find him real fast. And that is going to be Darnell Washington. In this mock draft, he actually went in the mid-late second round, which is somewhere Cincinnati could get him there. Cincinnati could also get him in the first round. He is a monster. He has an 81.3 run blocking grade. He's pretty much an offensive lineman who plays tight end. And he's like a right tackle who plays tight end. He can catch the ball. He's 6'7". He's 265 pounds. He's 270 pounds. He's a huge dude. He can outbox people. He can catch it. He had made amazing catches in the combine. And he's also a really good run blocker. So if you need him to, he could pretty much suit up and be right tackle, while still, if you need him to be, an actual pretty solid tight end for you. He was 86 for contested catches in college. Again, he hasn't put up the craziest stats ever, but in college he was kind of that blocker / really solid catching tight end. What he wins is his frame. He's 6'7", 270. What his role in line tight end, so pretty much a blocking tight end, but he can also be a receiving tight end. What he can prove in is waist bending. He's an absolute monster. Been shooting up draft boards as of late for good reason. So as it says right here, this is his pros and his cons. It's rare to see a tight end who just had 45 receptions in college be so highly graded. That's because this man is actually that freaking good. He is an absolute monster. So, next guy on our list here, before I just absolutely talk about him too much, is Josh Wiley from Cincinnati. This is a guy we talked about actually in a video this morning actually. He's a player who's going to be a 4th, 5th round pick, and I absolutely love him to Cincinnati. I think this guy could be an absolute monster for you guys. So this is another player where if you don't go tight end early, maybe go tight end in the 4th or 5th round, and you can get a really solid player. So he has a 68.5 receiving grade. He has a 69.5 run blocking grade. He's a pretty all-around solid tight end. There's not much analysts talk about him, other than pretty much he has everything you can think of that you need. He's at least a 70% or higher, which is really good. Run blocking, hands, route running, potential, 70% or higher. He's what you would consider a above average prospect, right? So he's not below average, he's not bad, he's above average. He's not crazy above average, but he's above average. And you can work with him to make him better in every way. And a 4th, 5th round pick, I have no issue at all with him. Michael Mayer, let's be honest, is a guy that on this channel alone, I think we've talked about him more than anything else. But he is pros to go in the now at this point, they're having him go, and we're from the 15th pick to the 25th pick. He will most likely not be on the board when Cincinnati does draft. It makes sense because this guy is probably the best tight end prospect we've seen in the last 10, 15 years. He is a 91.6 receiving grade. He is what you would consider, in all honesty, an absolute monster in every category possible. He has an 82.1 run blocking grade. He is he's crazy, man. He is absolutely crazy, and I say this, I might be fanboying over him. I am a little bit, because he did go to my college, Notre Dame, and I love Notre Dame. So, I watched this guy his whole entire, 3 seasons with us, and he's been a monster in every type of way. Where he wins is physicality. What's his role? Inline tight end. Where he can improve is his speed. So he's pretty much a lot like George, the guy we looked at. What's his name? I said Darnell Washington. I want to say George for some reason. Darnell, but the problem is that he's like Darnell, but he's faster. He's faster. He's a better receiver. Whatever Darnell is, he's a little bit better in the receiving role, while Darnell is better in the run blocking role. So I mean, if you somehow somebody got both these guys, that would be god tier, in all honesty. Sam LaPorta. This guy, I'm going to guess is a second round pick, and he is a second round pick. So he is a late second, early third round pick at tight end, and he's a pretty solid tight end. 85.3 receiving grade, 53.1 run blocking grade. He is not a blocker. He does not block anybody. He is the guy who goes up and does the vertical threat tight end. You might kind of get that confused because in college he had 1 touchdown, 3 touchdowns, 1 touchdown, but he definitely still got there with the yards. So looking at his analyst sheet, what he wins at is his yards after catch. The guy, what's his role, is a seam threat. So he's a guy you put in the seams and you absolutely shred up any team. What he can improve, though, is catching points. So he struggles to haul in passes outside his frame and makes plays through contact. So things, again, like I said, you can teach, you can learn. Nothing too crazy, bad about the guy. But again, that guy is the man he is. Let's look at the next guy, though. Darnell Wright. This is the guy, another player we've talked about many times on the channel, and I know a lot of people love this guy. The reason why people love this guy is because he is, again, I think he's a mid-second round pick right now. I say that because sometimes people change. Combine is so beautiful, right? Combine is so beautiful. So here's why people love him. He was a left tackle for the Tennessee Volunteers, and then they moved him to right tackle. He was a solid, okay left tackle. 20, as you guys can see, a 53.5 grade. Then they moved to right tackle. This guy just absolutely takes off. They moved him to right tackle, and he was absolutely bonkers. Like, he went from, okay, this guy's nothing bad. Holy cow, what did we just get from you? You just became a new player. And since he moved to right tackle, he has been an absolute tank. He actually started right tackle, then went to left tackle, then went back to right tackle. My bad. Nonetheless, though, 65 run blocking score, but 80.2 pass blocking score. And that's what he's going to win. He's going to win in the pass blocking department. He's not really a good run blocker. Now, can he learn that over time? Absolutely. He would be the replacement for Collins. He currently is looking at an early to mid-round second-round pick, so that's something to take into consideration. What he wins, though, is his power. What's his role? Right tackle, guard, or gap seam. So he can play right guard. He can also play right tackle, but preferably you want to keep him at right tackle. I wouldn't move him around. I really wouldn't. You could, yes. What he can improve on is playing on balance. So again, he's a very power personified. Tons of experience. He played 2,746 snaps with a full year starting on both left tackle and right tackle. Left tackle was not his best suit. He held up against Will Anderson Jr.'s speed against Alabama. You guys know who Will Anderson is. Will Anderson is pretty much got to be reincarnated as a pass rusher. He's literally just not fair. The guy literally can get behind through anybody, tip the ball up, and pick six anybody. The guy's like a safety corner pass rusher. He's everything. But yeah, no, he is an absolute monster. Next guy we have here is going to be Richie Goy. Richie Goy. And I think, if I believe so correctly, just about to say, I'm gonna guess he is a late round pick. Because I haven't heard too much about him, and I ran 50 mock drafts of the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, so he is a tackle, and most likely, if we go ahead and look at the tackles available right here, I'm going to guess, if I select tackle and not guard. Okay, Pro Football Focus website is kind of glitchy, I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, he's going to be an undrafted guy. So he's most likely going to be a 7th round undrafted guy. He is a pretty solid. He's played most of his career at left tackle, played a little bit at left guard. He actually played 720 snaps in 2020 at left guard, but most of his career has been at tackle. He's a pretty all-around solid player. He's nothing crazy. He's an average guy, okay? He's a very average player. 78.9 pass blocking grade, 65.7 run blocking grade, so nothing too insanely crazy. At the end of the day, like I said before, he's going to be a 7th round pick. 7th round undrafted player. He's 6'5", 308 pounds. So big body, big frame. Love to see it, but not sure how I feel about him overall wise. Nolan Smith. He is going to be a late first round pick, early second round pick. He is a absolute monster pass rusher from Georgia. Everyone loves this guy. If we're being honest, he's going up draft boards quicker than anything, quicker than the Burger King commercial when people see it, how quickly they turn it off. 82.4 run defense grade, 74.9 pass grade. This man is a absolute freaking tank. His final year, he had 2 sacks, 7 sacks, 3 sacks. Nothing too crazy there, but he's also, you gotta keep in mind, he does play for Georgia. There's a lot of good players for Georgia, in all honesty. But let's go ahead and take a look at his first look. So his first look is his quickness. That's where a lot of people are going to absolutely love this guy and fall in love with this guy, is his ability to be faster than everybody else, get to the quarterback faster than everybody else. He's a monster. What's his role? A 3-4 outside linebacker / wide edge. Problem is, Cincinnati runs a 4-3 defense, and I don't think Lou's going to change his system for one player. What he can prove on, though, is his size. He's under 240 pounds, which is very small for a linebacker. While he still has a lot of oomph about him, he needs to get bigger. And again, like I said, he simply is a 3-4 linebacker trying to go in a 4-3 system. It's not going to really work out that well. So if you guys want a little general gist of what a 4-3 and a 3-4 is, a 3-4 is going to be 4 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers. In a 3-4... yeah, it's going to be 3. It's going to be a left, right end, or sometimes the right end's right outside linebacker, and a D tackle. Usually they would call them a nose tackle. A 4-3 is going to be 4 defensive linemen. It's going to be 4 linebackers, 3 defensive linemen, and a lot of times what ends up happening... actually, wait. Switch those things around. I'm stupid. It is technically... there is different defense setups, but for the most part, it's 4 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, 3-4, 3 defensive linemen. Bro, I am bugging out today. 3-4 is 3 linebackers, 4 defensive linemen, 2 tackles usually, 1 tackle usually, left, right end, right outside linebacker. A 4-3 is usually 2 D tackles, and then it's 2 edge rushers. Usually in a 4-3, linebackers can get away with more because you don't have to worry about going after the quarterback as much, because there's everyone in a 4-3 is fast, okay? In a 4-3 defense, everyone has speed. Everyone does, okay? When you see these big, fat nose tackles or these big, meaty nose tackles, most of the time they play a 3-4. Because usually in a 3-4, your nose tackle, you want it is a big guy. You want him to just stuff the hole and take care of business, right? In a 4-3, you want it to be more or less, you want 2 really fast tackles and really fast ends. You want everything to be speed. So he would be good in a 4-3 because he's fast, but again, he has played 3-4 his whole entire life, so I don't know how it would work out. Completely butchered that completely. I apologize, guys. I don't know why. The reason why I was getting confused, because when I'm thinking about defensive sets, right? Because when you say 4-3, 3-4, you're thinking like, technically speaking, on paper, it's 3 linebackers, 4 defensive linemen. 4 linebackers, 3 defensive linemen. But I'm thinking about different like nickel defenses, and different coverages. I don't know why. Been a long day. Brian Breece, D tackle from Clemson. Alright, so Brian Breece is going to be off the board in the second round. He is more or less going to be not second round. Yeah, he's going to be off the board in the second round. He is a first round pick. In this mock draft, they have him in the 23rd overall pick. He could be available the 28th. It's very rare and uncommon. I had some mock drafts where they had him available 28th overall pick, but I'd say it's more or less just he could, but he could not be at the same time. I think it's kind of a mixed bag when it comes to him being available. But let's take a look at him, because he is still a really solid D tackle. He would be a guy you would put next to DJ Reader. Because again, like I said, in the Bengals run a 4-3, they need 2 D tackles on the field at all times. Not all times, but they like to have 2 D tackles on the field. Alright, so 82 pass rush grade, 63.4. So he is a perfect 4-3 D tackle. He's not going to be a guy who's going to shut down the run, but he's going to be a guy who gets after the quarterback. Exactly what a 4-3 would want. 74.1. He did have 3 sacks, 1 sack, 4 sacks in college. Where he wins is his explosiveness. What's his role? A versatile D tackle, so he can actually play a lot of different and more capable of playing any alignment from a 5 technique and in, as he has a length and play strength to execute any role asked of him. So that's actually really nice. That means he can be pretty much put anywhere the Bengals need him to be. What he lacks is creativity. Okay, not bad. So again, when it comes to D tackles, it's interesting. It's not a splash position. It's kind of a position that a lot of people, it's a very important position, but at the same time, I think that, it is what it is. Now, I will say, though, so he's a defense tackle in this website, but according to the Combine, he's a defensive lineman. And if we look at his overall, what he has played, he's been pretty much at everything. So he's been a pass rusher, a defensive tackle, a defensive lineman, left, right end. He's been pretty much everything. So I do like players like that when they're very versatile. It's always nice to have. Girvin Dexter. We've been looking at him a crap ton. He is an absolute monster D tackle. He is I want to say usually I see him in like the 4th or 5th round. Sometimes 6th, but really just 4th or 5th. He is a 55.2 pass rushing grade, but he's a 70 run defense grade. He's a run stuffer. That's pretty much what he is. He's not going to get after the quarterback, but he's going to shut down the run and help you shut down the run every single play. There isn't much analyst about him because he is a 4th or 5th round pick. As you guys can see, he absolutely has freaking dropped, bro. But yeah, he's a very solid player. 13% right here has the Cincinnati Bengals taking him. And most mock drafts I run, he's always ends up getting mocked to the Cincinnati Bengals because he is a really solid run stuffer. Not really pass rusher, but he is a good run stuffer. Ivan Pace Jr. from Cincinnati. He is a linebacker, so he would be not the replacement for Jermaine Pratt, but he would help out as a rotational guy. Another player from Cincinnati here. He was looking at a ballpark range of 4th or 5th round pick. 93.3 pass rusher grade. 90.7 run stuffer grade. Yeah, he's a very solid linebacker. I don't think he's anything that, gonna jump off on paper. He's only 235 pounds, so he's a little smaller. He's 6 foot tall, so I know there'll be a lot of people just not interested in him because of his height and his size. Ray Lewis came out of college 6'1", so a lot of people said he was too small to play linebacker, and there's gonna be a lot of people who feel that way about this man right here. Would not be surprised if Cincinnati does take him in the draft here. I think he's a pretty solid 4th or 5th round pick. Nothing too crazy special about him, but I think he's gotten better every single season, and he will continue to progress into an NFL level. Clark Phillips is a cornerback we have talked about many times in my mock draft series. He is a really freaking good cornerback. He is a later round quarterback, though. So Clark Phillips, I believe, if I'm correct here, I want to say 4th or 5th round. No. Has he already been taken? He's a 2nd round pick. Yes, he is one of those. Okay, so yep, he's a 2nd round pick. I was going to say, because he is a very solid player overall wise. 86.3 coverage grade, 70.7 run defense grade, 86.3 coverage grade overall. Yeah. 0 dropped interceptions, 10 missed tackles. He's an all-around solid player. There's not much to talk about him. He's 5'10". He's 5'10", 183, so there's going to be a lot of people who might look away from him because of his height, but he's a pretty solid all-around player, to be honest. There's not really much to talk about some of these guys because, again, like I said, he's going to be a player who's a late 2nd round pick, early 3rd round pick, and I'm not expecting much from him. I would not really want Cincinnati to take him. I don't think he's going to be anything too crazy special. I believe his take on him was he's going to be an average starting quarterback in the NFL, which I don't think in the 2nd round I'd rather Bengals take somebody else. Emmanuel Forbes, cornerback. I do like Emmanuel Forbes a little bit just because I want to say, see, these players be moving around the draft board so freaking quickly. It's not even funny. Like, they be, especially with the combine, they just be going left and right around the draft board. Yeah, so Emmanuel Forbes is a early second round, mid second round pick. Could he drop to the Cincinnati Bengals? It's possible. I like him a lot better than I like Phillips, just because he has a. Actually, I don't think he has a better run. Does he have a better run defense grade? I gotta check that. I don't think he did. The Lions in this draft absolutely took everything the Bengals want. No, so he's a worse. Clark Phillips is the worst run defense guy. If I'm being Cincinnati here, I want a better run defense type of guy. I want a guy who's good in every category. I want him better in the run defense. I want him better in coverage grade. I want to be able to use him in any way possible as a rotational guy, whether I put him at corner, whether I put him at safety, whether I put him at whatever. So where he wins is his ball skills. What's his role is a versatile cornerback. That's why I love the guy, because he can do everything pretty much. Slot, rotational, starter, whatever. What he can improve on is muscle mass, which again will work as time goes on. Gets into the Bengals facility. Bengals will truly get him back into 1000% muscle mass shape. Absolutely love this guy. 1000%. All right, we have two more players left. Garrett Williams and Kelly Ringo. So Garrett Williams, I know Kelly Ringo is going to be a little bit later on in the draft here. Actually, no. First off, Garrett Williams is right here. He is going to be a second-round pick, early third-round pick. I don't like him at all. I'll be honest with you. I really don't like him. I haven't really had him mocked to Cincinnati at all for that reason. Where he wins is his feet. What's his role is outside corner. And what he needs to work on is mentality. I don't really like him too much. I'll be honest with you. There's not much I'm going to talk about with him. Kelly Ringo, I do like a lot. And is he already taken? I know, like I said before, I know at one point he was third. I thought he was a third round. Yep, he's a early second round pick. That's why I like him. He's just an all-around solid cornerback. He doesn't have the greatest grades of all time, but he's a solid cornerback. His size and speed is where he wins. Outside corner / safety. This is why I like him, is because he can also play safety. And if Cincinnati needs him as a rotational guy, that number 4 cornerback position, or a rotational safety guy, that's why I do like him. He doesn't really put up the craziest stats, and he probably never will. It says right here he's a third round. Bottom line is he's a third round pick. Currently, this mock draft has him as a second round pick, but it is what it is. He's a pretty all-around solid cornerback. So those are the players that Cincinnati met with so far. Obviously, they will meet with pretty much every other. They'll meet with other players too. But those are the guys that Cincinnati have met with so far. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.